How much longer does Brother Reuben have? And bless your heart. I thank God for the blindness of what I was really saying this morning. I could have gone on all day, hour and hour. Luke chapter 24, notice something here concerning an event that took place in an area on the way to a little place that nobody wants to go to. Road to Emmaus. Emmaus is the pits. It was then and it still is today. But there were two disciples who had gone to the village of Emmaus, about 7 or 8 miles from Jerusalem. Here they were, so downcast. They believed him to be the Messiah, the deliverer, the one that would come and set him free. And all of a sudden the Romans have killed him. They put him in a tomb. What are we going to do? Have we wasted 3 years listening to this man? Man, I'm telling you, we are in problems. Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, we're going to Emmaus. Come on and go with us. Man, we were just discussing between ourselves the issue of this one called Jesus of Nazareth, how he was executed by the Romans. Verse 16 says, but their eyes were holden that they should not know him. They didn't even know who he was. Here they were walking with the risen Christ. Didn't know who he was. Man, we've got problems. We don't know what we're going to do. Man, we put so much hope in this one that called himself the Messiah, the Son of God. Well, that's why most of the church today is walking in ignorance concerning the Lord's table. Because they've not spent that intimacy with Jesus to know him. Most of the church is walking in total ignorance today concerning the Lord's table, and my people perish for lack of knowledge. And because thou hast rejected knowledge, according to what Hosea says, I'll reject you as my priest. But anyway, let's get back to the story. They didn't know who Jesus was, and Jesus responds to them in verse 17, and he says unto them, now what manner of communication, or what are you talking about to one another as you walk and are sad? There's a joy that comes from the Lord's table, folks. One of them, whose name was Cleophas, answering, said unto him, art thou the only stranger in Jerusalem, has not known the things which had come to pass in the last few days? Jesus was leading them on. He said, what things, man? What went on? They said unto him concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in word and deed, for God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death, and they've crucified him. And gosh, we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this today, it's the 3rd day since the things were done. If they would have only listened to Jesus when he said, I'll tear down the temple and I will raise it in 3 days. Tomorrow night we deal with that issue because it deals with the Feast of Dedication. You see, the whole issue at the trial of Jesus was the fact that he had made a statement that they didn't understand. He said, I'll tear down the temple and in 3 days I'll raise it up. Oh, you that tear down the temple and raise it in 3 days, come on off of the cross. He not only came off the cross, but he was resurrected the 3rd day, just as the scripture had said. We trusted it had been he which should have redeemed Israel, and beside all this today, it's only the 3rd day since these things were done. Yea, concern a certain women also of our company were astonished when they went to the sepulchre and they didn't find the Messiah. Jesus began to really admonish these two believers. He says in verse 25, then he said unto them, O fools and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ or the Messiah to have suffered these things and enter into his glory? And he began at Moses and all the prophets. Notice he used the Old Testament because Jesus says, if you don't believe the writings of Moses, you'll not believe who I am or what I say. And beginning at Moses and all the prophets, he expounded unto them all the scriptures concerning the things of himself. They drew near to the village, and it says as they went in, it says, listen, it was getting dark. Hey, we don't know who you are, man, but, we feel a little comfort. Something's burning inside of us. Why don't you stay with us for a little while? And he stayed with them for a little while, and they had dinner prepared. They still didn't know who Jesus was. They'd poured out their heart, their sadness, their concern.